I'm Bodine Victoria, and welcome to another episode of Bodine Pot. Today we are going to be celebrating the official start of the crab season here in the Bahamas with the signature crab dish of the Bahamas, which I guess it can be argued should be crab and dough, but every father knows that on Father's Day you're going to get crab and rice. And so I have this ready. I'm going to need is some oil. Then you're going to need about a cup of onion. You need sweet pepper, and that's about half a cup, and then about a quarter cup. You can go up to half a cup of celery and a cup of ripe tomatoes. Make sure that they are diced finely. I also have here some garlic. I have a bay leaf and some finger pepper or bird pepper. There's also some tomato paste here because you know you need the tomato paste. Black pepper, that's some salt, and we have 2 cups of rice. Now 2 cups of long grain rice is going to give you roughly 8 servings of rice. I have some finely diced salt beef and finely diced, well, some cubed salt pork. I have it done this way simply because I want them to cook faster. Traditionally, what we do is we tend to kind of boil them ahead of time, maybe boil them in peas if we tend on cooking them, but I have them diced and kind of minced finely so that they cook faster in the rice. And then the coup de grace, because I know some of y'all thought that I was going to be missing, we have the crab. Now the crab looks a little different because I bought this pre-packaged from Aqueelah, and I'm going to put her flyer somewhere here on the screen. What I love about this is this particular product was born out of our COVID-19 pandemic situation. It's crab season, and I can tell you I love the convenience of this little pouch. What happens is for $15, this is $15 worth of cleaned crab, strained crab. You get 3 crab bodies that are broken into half, and then you get the 3 biters, and of course 6 biters, and of course the crab fat, which she has a method of straining. Now it's a method that I don't use, but I can appreciate the way that she is very thorough with her packaging. So shout out to all of the Bahamian entrepreneurs making that money. Shout out to Aqueelah for doing this. We're going to start by putting oil into the pot. You don't need a lot because the salt beef and the salt pork or the ham fat is going to give you enough oil as well. And you're going to take both of those, your salt beef and salt pork, you're going to put them into the frying pan. And we're just going to let them render, because that's what you do with pork fat and salt beef. You're going to let them render while in the pot. I also want to say that this episode is going to be dedicated to Island Connection Freight Forwarding. They have partnered with me on quite a number of things, which include making my dreams come true. My lighting is so much better. The camera quality is so much better simply because I was able to bring in the tools that I need here in the Bahamas through Island Connection Freight Forwarding. So I updated the set. The very table that I cook on is bought in custom through Island Connection, along with the new lights and the new camera that we're using for today. The microphone that I have in, I really have to say that they make shipping extremely convenient, and of course I get all of my things in time. They communicate well, and of course they deliver. So thank you so much, Island Connection. Don't be alarmed by the way that this looks now. The salt beef and the salt pork fat have rendered along with the olive oil that we used. The salt is now at the bottom of the pot, and I'm going to turn this pot down just a little bit so that it doesn't burn. You don't have to worry about the way that it looks. That's literally just the salt at the bottom of the pot. Now we're going to add onions, sweet pepper, celery, and we're going to give it a stir. And just like that, all of the pork fat and the salt that had rendered at the bottom of the pot are now being absorbed by the vegetables, and the vegetables are deglazing that as well. And so what you're going to have in just a few minutes is this delectably smelling kind of dish. Add our tomatoes. We're also going to add our garlic. And we're going to take the pepper and the bay leaf and we're going to drop it into the pot as well. I'm keeping the peppers whole because I don't really want them to go throughout the pot. I really just want them to flavor the pot so I can fish them out a little bit later. And now, I'm going to give this a stir. You want to continue this process until the tomatoes have started to separate from their skins. And at this point, I'm also going to add some partially dried thyme because the room smells like the garlic, it smells like the onion, it smells so good. The aromatics are doing their job and it's going to get even better with the scent of fresh Bahamian thyme. I'm going to let this reduce just a little bit more and we're going to be ready in about 3 minutes. Just want to open this packet. Listen, I am here for this. Do you hear me? Why am I here for this? Because it is convenient, it is neat, it's clean, she delivers. I can tell you, Aqueelah, you did that. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that squirms as I take apart the crab. Then I'm able to go through the process of completing the cleaning as well as the dismemberment of the crab for the purpose of cooking. Okay? This is the crab fat. This is actually quite a bit of fat. And if you notice the consistency, you would see that she still kept a whole lot of the integrity of the crab while she strained it, okay? And then I'm going to take the crab pieces out a little bit later. I'm just going to keep them in the bag. As you know, I'm wearing white. I don't want to get dirty and I don't wear an apron. So, yes. This is exactly what you want in your pot. You see this? And this is the reason why we don't need to add a bunch of oil because again, the ingredients that you put inside the pot are going to render, and really and truly, if you wanted to, you can prepare this in a non-stick pan and not have to use oil at all. And if you noticed as well, I didn't add any salt. Adding salt to this pot was going to actually over season it, and that's not what we want to do. Right now I'm going to put in the tomato paste. It's not necessary. This is optional. So you can put in your optional tomato paste. I do it because I actually love the way that it balances out the flavors. Mix this inside here. Listen. And now it's time for us to add our crab fat. Now, there's a debate as to what this is. I'm not concerned because she took her time and she fattened them herself. Like I've said before, it's very important you know who you're getting your crabs from. And if you are like me, I need somebody to fatten them up. I don't have anywhere to keep them. And so this service is really one that I value. It has the pouch. The pouch has a little slit on the side, so I'm going to use that. And here we go. I am tearing it just like that. Very easy to tear. Into the bin she goes. And just like that, pour that fat right in there. And what you want to do is you're going to stir it. And there you go. This is what I love about adding the crab fat to the pot. You don't have to use any non-traditional methods. You don't need any coloring. The crab actually gives the pot the color, and it's very true to color. So whatever color it is that it turns into while you're at this phase, that's the color that your rice more than likely is going to be. Unless, of course, by the power of diffusion, you add so much rice that it diffuses or stretches the color out in the pot. But this is what it's going to look like. Now, let's add our crab pieces to the pot. So in the package, you get 3 full crabs, which would be 3 crab biters, which would be the large and the small, the dominant and the less dominant one. And then you get the 3 bodies, which have been broken in half. We're going to add those to the pot, just like that. And we are going to let these steam for maybe about a minute or 2. Now we're going to add 2 cups of our washed long grain rice to the pot. Gonna get all of that in here. No. We're gonna add about 2 cups of the boiling water to the pot to help this boil just a bit faster. And now our pot is coming to a boil. Steam is lovely full. We're going to taste this broth now to see what it tastes like, to see whether or not we have to add salt, whether we want some black pepper, if we want some more thyme and herbs inside of it. And of course, we would also add lime juice. This needs no salt. I'm definitely going to add a bit more thyme to this because I like the limey flavor of the thyme. And I'm also going to add lemon juice or lime juice. So lime juice, more thyme. We're also going to add just a dash of black pepper. All right, guys, at this moment, we're going to check on our rice. If you look at the rice grains, they've started to swell. They are still a little bit opaque on the inside, but not so very much. And it's going to take some time to soak. So we're going to continue to reduce the flame to low, okay? And because the pot that we're using has a very sturdy cover, we're not going to use any foil paper. Some people use a plastic bag. There's no need for that if things sustain. While we have our crab and rice simmering for the next 15 to 20 minutes, we have a new kid on the block. This new kid is Firehouse Spice Company, Bahamian owned by a Regina Smith. Yes, because I know more than one, but she has this seafood seasoning called Spark. Now, spark normally means to set something on fire or to begin the process of setting something on fire. And her company is doing something great because she's using sea salt and hot chili peppers. We tend to use goat peppers. We use bird peppers here in the Bahamas, and we take our sea salt or our salt and we kind of mash the bird pepper, the goat pepper, the finger pepper, whichever peppers, or maybe a combination of them all together to make our fish seasoning. And for many people, that is all that one needs for their fish seasoning. Today, I'm going to take this piece of snapper, this red snapper here, and I'm going to start the seasoning process. So first, you're going to take your lime. I know somebody may probably hear like, what is she doing? She don't know what she's doing. Yes, I'm adding the lime first so that the actual snapper is starting to take in the flavor of the lime. And then I'm going to massage the pepper salt into it. And that way the lime doesn't wash away the salt. So we're going to take just about a quarter of a lime for this particular size fish. And I'm trying to squeeze out all because I'm greedy. Now I'm going to take about a little less than a tablespoon of this fish seasoning to rub into my snapper, okay? Actually, I really want to taste this. Okay, so let me... Oh, yeah. Ooh. Should have thought that one through. Oh, hold on. I'm going to take less than a tablespoon. And that should be just about enough for this size fish. I don't believe in encouraging hypertension. I'm going to do the right thing by myself and by my diet and my capillaries and arteries. And I am just going to take it easy. I think that I am also going to add a little bit more spice to this. Guess what? They have something else as well. This is 100% ground goat pepper powder. I'm here for it. And because I want this super spicy, we're gonna add the goat to this. Boy. Okay, I think I could pay for that later, but my dad likes pepper. He loves pepper, so we can give him the pepper. Okay, and now I'm just going to rub this into my fish. And see, as you can see, the salt is starting to break down into the fish. I'm gonna turn it over just so I could get some of that lime juice there. I wish that you all could see just how amazing this looks inside this pot. I'm going to now just take a second and I'm just going to release some of the steam from the bottom of the pot. Why? Because the bottom of the pot tends to hold a lot of the water, especially because of the fat that we use. So I'm going to release some of that because the rice is starting to cook, and the rice at the bottom will get soggy if you don't do this. At least that's my experience. But they are already starting to swell. They're looking very, very full and flavorful and delicious. I have the crab and rice cooking with the pot off because, judging by what I can see, I already know that this is in danger of becoming a friendly pot of crab and rice, which is fine, I like it friendly, but I'm gonna allow it to just steam out just a little bit more and steam with the cover off so that I can mitigate some of that, all right? Don't forget, we did not add any more salt to this, so all of the flavor comes directly from the salt beef and the salt pork. Yes, my dear friends, through the magic of television, there is another stove in the front of me, because what we're going to do now is we're going to pan fry that bit of red snapper that we seasoned just a few minutes ago. Swirl this around just a little bit, like that, and we're gonna do that. Let me check on this pot. I'm turning the rice so that it does not get friendly because I really want to release some of the steam. We're going to take our fish and we're going to rest it. We're going to rest it skin side down into the pot. In case you want to know, we're doing it this way because we actually want the outside to get a nice brown sear, and I'm also going to kind of infuse the oil now with some lime juice because we have not done a whole lot of, we haven't let this marinate for long enough. So now I'm going to take this. Gonna turn this over. Ooh, yes. And I am just gonna let this fry right out. Yes. And guess what? We are done. I was so afraid a little bit earlier that I was gonna have soggy friendly crab and rice, but I managed to save it. And guess what? I want you to just be calm. Don't worry about it. Sometimes cooking long grain rice can be tricky if it's not regular white rice. I normally cook my rice inside a rice cooker, and when you're making meals like this, that's not necessarily possible, but I managed to save it. And just by taking the cover off of the rice pot, stirring it up, turning the heat down a little bit low, I managed to release some of the steam so that the rice would not hold it in and it would not overcook. It would not be soggy, it wouldn't be friendly. And guess what we have? We have individual rice grains that are fully developed and definitely worth sharing. I also have a meal complement suggestion. It's mango season here in the Bahamas, and so in the second plate you're going to see that I have a little bit of mango salsa. Here's what you want to do. You want to dice the mango, the half-ripe tomatoes, some red onion, some sweet pepper. Then you're going to take fresh lime, fresh lemon, a pinch of salt, maybe even a fresh orange if that's the flavor that you like. You're going to mix that together, add cilantro, add your own type of pepper, mix it up, and then you're going to serve it with some blackened snapper. Yes! Some seasoned blackened snapper on a bed of Bluefield Farms spring mix. And I can tell you, you're gonna get all of your nutrients. It's very, very low fat. I'm telling you, it's gonna be refreshing, it's gonna be light, it's gonna be delicious, it's gonna be very, very Bahamian. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Bodine Pot. If you enjoyed what you saw, then I want you to like this video. Then I want you to press the subscription button and tap the notification bell so that you know when I upload brand new videos of Bodine Pot. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to follow my Instagram for recipes, Bahamian fashion, music, and culture. Don't forget, don't let any and everybody dig up in your pot.